All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. I have the one and only Sam Silver from the West Coast. Sam, thanks for hopping on. If you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Absolutely. My name is Sam Silver. I'm with EXP in beautiful Santa Clarita, California, otherwise known as Hollywood North, where there's a lot of filming that goes on here. You've heard of the Santa Clarita Diet that was filmed here, NCIS is filmed here, SWAT, numerous films are filmed here, and we're about 45 minutes from Hollywood. So I cover Ventura County, LA County areas, and I get a lot of referrals through the East Coast also. So I am a Army veteran. I served, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to do my full amount of. I wasn't able to be deployed overseas, or I stayed stateside. I had a medical discharge, so I was discharged honorably, and got into real estate. And I've been in real estate for about 18 years now, a little over 18 years.
I like it. So, question for you, since actually
Sure.
you telling that you had a bunch of questions that popped up in my head, but you've been in it for 18 years.
Yes.
Obviously, the huge thing right now in the real estate industry, at least on the East Coast. I'm not sure if the West Coast is feeling it. Everyone's talking about a shift, a shift, a shift. You've been in it, when 2008 happened and everything like that. What are your thoughts on this shift? Yeah, just what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the shift is a lot different now than it was then. If you take a look at, we had back then we had what were called liar loans, and basically, if somebody can fog a glass, they could buy a home. Now there's a lot of things in place with the Dodd-Frank Act, uh, which helps to protect the buyer and the seller as well. Um, and there's the life loans aren't around. So if somebody needs to qualify now, they actually have to qualify. They have to have proof. Not saying that those loans aren't going to come around again. There are some that are kind of creeping in there that are remind me of some of the liar loans, but in general, these people have to have income, and they verify it, and those banks aren't going to let it happen again.
So, from at least from what you're saying, you're not too worried about it, correct?
It's adjusting. What it is if you take a look at your positives in purchasing, the only negative you see in a list of positives is the interest rate. Everything else is negotiable. So you have interest rates that a lot of sellers are offering to help people buy down the rate. Sellers are having to actually take care of repairs. People aren't waiving that appraisal contingency like they were doing left and right before. So if you take a look, the only negative is the interest rate. So if somebody wants to buy, it's a great time to buy. If they're currently renting, they're paying 100% interest rate.
That's true.
Versus the 7% that they would be paying, say, right now.
And question, since you mentioned interest rate, and then also I know you said you've been doing real estate for 18 years. What's the highest interest rate that you've seen since you've been working in real estate?
I'm trying to think what it was. I mean, we had some pretty low interest rates. I mean, right now it's the highest I've seen. I mean, 7% is pretty decent. I mean, before I was in the real estate market, or before I was in the real estate business, I'm 51. So we saw interest rates like 19%. You talk about the 80s were really high. So you're still under that. You're still under 10%.
Yeah.
So we're not in a situation where it's not. We still have good interest rates.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of positives right now when people want to buy.
No, I agree with you. We're not in the double digits, so it's definitely good. I can't complain.
We're still not in double digits.
And then so Sam, another question. So been in real estate for 18 years. What made you interested in real estate, or what made you get into that transition?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I worked for a company called Schwann's,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've seen those big yellow trucks that are out there,
Uh,
delivering ice cream to people's houses.
oh,
So it's a food service company,
yeah.
and they're from the Midwest. And I did that for a couple years, and I got into that job because of we wanted to have kids. Me and my
Yeah.
wife, we wanted to have kids, and we had some challenges. So we ran into, it's kind of interesting. We ran into this lady at the clinic,
Yeah.
and she said, you know, you guys are trying to have a baby. Why don't you go to Schwann's, because they have great insurance.
Makes sense.
So we went to Schwann's. I went and tried out for Schwann's, and I got a job as a route driver.
Yeah.
So I did that for a couple of years, and it was like 18-hour shifts. It
That's
was
a long time.
it was crazy. That's a long
Yeah.
time on a truck.
That's a long
And
time.
it was a long time on a truck, and it was
Yeah.
commission based only. So
Gotcha.
what you sold is what you got.
Yeah.
So we did first we did artificial insemination,
Mhm.
because it was covered by Schwann's.
Yeah.
And then that didn't help, or that didn't work.
Mhm.
And then it's kind of funny, we ran into the same lady at the fertility clinic,
Yeah.
and she was telling us about getting into real estate.
Yeah.
And she said, well, why don't you go over to Keller Williams? It's right over here, and that's who I hang my license with. Why don't you go over there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I went and got my real estate license at Keller Williams in Redlands, and I was under the tutelage of the owner of the office,
Oh man.
and she taught me. Yeah, she was hard nosed. She was
I was about to say, yeah.
little Chinese lady that cracked the whip,
Yeah.
and said, "You." And for those people that are hurting right now, she taught me, you go and give away 10 business cards a day, and go see 10 new home builds or resales, or know your inventory.
Mhm.
Because if you don't know your inventory, your realtor next door is going to know the inventory, and is going to be able to talk intelligently to the clients.
That's
So
true.
she said, go see 10 houses, go give away 10 business cards. And if you don't do this, don't come to my class.
I like it. She has standards. I like it.
She said, don't come to my class if you're not doing this every day.
Yeah.
So I did what I was told. You know, what
Yeah.
did I know? Go out and give away 10 business cards, and go see 10 houses. And I was, top 2 years in real estate, I was one of those top producers in the office. So I
That's
did what I
awesome.
was told, and that's what it comes down to. We have to do, especially right now, it's belly to belly. You have to
Yeah.
go meet, and you have to go shake their hands, and you really have to be a liaison and a concierge for your clients nowadays, because there's so much misinformation on the internet, that we're there to make sure we filter through it
Yeah.
and let them know what is actual.
No, that makes sense. That's true. That's something that's a reoccurring theme that I keep hearing. So that definitely makes sense. Another question for you, because I know you have a daughter, you're a family man. Real estate can be really I don't know if intense is the right word, but it can be busy. It can also take over your schedule. How do you divide up your time between family and business?
I'm still working on that one.
Yeah. Understand that. Definitely understand.
Still working on that one. That's experience that you learn when you need to shut off the phone, which is really, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Especially, we have workplace, and I'm always looking on workplace to see when referrals are coming in, stuff like that. But, we have quiet time at night. Me and my wife, we
Yeah.
have quiet time at night, and my phone generally is like across the room.
That makes sense.
And it's still a work in progress. It's tough to find that balance. It
Yeah.
really is. So you have to do what is good for you and your family.
Yeah.
And if it gets to a point, your family is worth more than the real estate business. The business will come to you if you take care of your family. And we've been very blessed. My daughters, when they were born, I'll go back up a little bit. When I was doing when I got in real estate, that first 2 years we did really good, and the market was awesome. And we decided we were going to do, after the in vitro after the artificial insemination, we did in vitro fertilization. And we lost 3. And my wife had an ectopic pregnancy and lost a tube. And we were blessed with twin daughters. We lost twins, and we were blessed with twins. And they were 2'11" and 2'15" when they were born. They were like the size of my hand. It was just, and so we spent about 3 months in the NICU. Didn't have a lot of time to do much, except for I was a listing agent. So not even my team, I wasn't really on a team, but everyone at my office. And this is a cool thing about real estate. People, when you're dealing with tough things, people will step in and will offer to help you with your business.
Yeah.
And they were always there for me. And I would go to the office in the morning and we go to the hospital, and I'd spend like the mornings with the girls, and then I go to the office, get work done, and my wife would be at the hospital. And and then after I was done with my work, I'd go back to the hospital and spend 3-4 hours, with my babies.
Yeah.
Because we work so hard to have them, and in vitro fertilization is not cheap.
Yeah. I got a friend who's going through it right now, and it's not cheap at all.
It's not cheap, and there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot involved in doing that. I mean, I had to give my wife shots. And my wife is a nurse, and that wasn't easy for her to release the control of a needle. So we talk about dads and some of the things that dads do for their family, and that was tough. And doing the in vitro fertilization was tough, and almost losing my wife from, she had to have blood. I mean, that was a tough time. And I'm thankful for real estate that I was very successful, and still am very successful, because of the flexibility.
Yeah.
And being able to take care of your family and do what you need to do for your family.
And something you had talked about, which I wanted to ask you about, if you don't mind talking about that, is I know you said you'd go in the morning, then you'd go do real estate, and then you'd come back at night or in the evening. How like I feel like that takes a really strong mindset, or either like a switch to be like, okay, focusing on my family, focusing on work to get priorities done, or what did that look like, or what was your mindset around all of that, if that makes sense?
Well, I would, first of all, I'd be honest with my clients. And they understood that, I had to take care of family as well as business, but I would make sure that I would take care of my business, and nobody fell through the cracks. So communication was the key when you're dealing with all that. And I have a testimonial from a client. I think we were going to Sedona, and I was closing a transaction as I was heading out to Sedona on the freeway. And I got a really nice testimonial from that client saying, he is such a family man, and he took such good care of us, and we felt like we were part of his family. And he, even though he was on vacation, he still was making sure that things were done right.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we take things on vacation, sometimes we can't, but make sure you take care of your clients, and just make sure that they're like family.
Yeah.
For my clients, I consider my clients my family, and I check in with them when I see stuff on Facebook and make sure that they're okay, and make sure you contact them and keep in contact with them, keep them in your like family. You don't, well, some people don't disconnect to their family,
Yeah.
and
And
you always
so,
make sure they're okay. And we're
and it,
people first. We're people
yeah.
first. The real estate is what we use as a tool for freedom, for supporting your family. But you're a person besides just your real estate.
And that's what, so you said people first. That's what my first coach taught me. She told me that real estate is just a way to get paid for being a good person. They were like, if you're a good person, you're
Yes.
nice, well, kind to people, really work or care about people and genuinely care about people, the money will come.
Mhm.
And I mean, obviously there's steps
Absolutely.
that you have to do, but the money comes if you genuinely care about people. And that's been true in my short career so far. It really has.
Absolutely.
So I guess another question, what I know you're on the West Coast, so it's a little bit of different time frame, but what time do you wake up, and then what motivates you to wake up?
Um, that's an interesting question, because my daughter usually wakes up before everyone.
Yeah.
She has autism, so her brain is like a steel trap when it comes to time she wakes up. Every
Yeah.
day she wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Alarm clock
And
needed or no alarm clock?
she really doesn't need alarm clock. She just
Yeah.
wakes up. And
Awesome.
I I like to get up before her, so then the day hasn't kind of set in,
Yeah.
and it gives me a chance to clear my cobwebs for the night, and get the coffee started. And it's funny, in our house we say Hebrew, um, which is kind of has two meanings. I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
so Hebrew, and I always get the coffee started in the morning, so that we have a good start of the morning, and coffee's ready for when my wife wakes up. So I do Hebrew.
I like it. I have to start my day with coffee too. So I understand.
There you go.
Like,
And
so
when it's quiet and it's dark in the house, it's important to kind of get your mindset for the day. I'll listen to different music. I'll listen to motivational stuff. I'll put my headphones on so I don't wake anyone up.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how I start my day. You have to have a good mindset to start your day, because what did I hear? Every day that you're not in escrow, you're out of business,
Ooh, I like that.
because you're out of work.
Yeah.
If you're not communicating with somebody about real estate, talking about real estate, doing videos on real estate, you're out of work.
Yeah.
And
I never thought about it like that.
what was the guy? The guy said, what was his name? There was a recent thing we had in EXP World, and he said, "No ink, you stink." And it's funny, because I actually bought that domain name, noinkyoustink.com.
You buy it after or before that?
I bought it after. I, I
I
thought
like
that
it.
was, I thought that was pretty cool. So I said noinkyoustink.com.
That's a good domain name. I gotta admit, that is
So
awesome.
when I mentor people, I'm going to start sharing my no ink you stink, because he talks about, if you don't have ink on the paper for the day, you're you know you're not working.
That's true.
So your goal is to get something inked, whether it be a lease, a buyer, a seller, document out to a buyer, like a buyer survey.
Mhm.
Like, you send a buyer survey out to somebody to let them know how you work
Yeah.
and to find out what they're looking for. I mean, that's considering if you're sending
Yeah.
something out to somebody.
I like
But
that.
but he said no ink, you stink.
I like it too. As a domain name, if I'm constantly typing that in for like some training or something, it would
Yep,
just keep reminding me like, hey, I need to do something today. I need to put some action towards something.
exactly.
Oh.
And I need to get my foot on the ground and keep going. So no ink, you stink. So you'll remember me. No ink, you stink.
And it rhymes. I love it. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess a random question then. Do you have a favorite quote or favorite book that you feel like has helped you out in life or being like a dad or a husband or real estate or anything like that?
My favorite book. Hmm. There's a lot of them. The One Thing is great. Um, there is The Magic of Thinking Big is an awesome book.
I haven't read that one yet. I need to look that up.
Power of Positive Thinking
Yeah.
is a great one. What is my favorite? You know what? Actually, I think one of my favorites is an older book called Who Moved My Cheese.
My dad gave me that book a long time ago. I never read it. So maybe I need to then. I might really
Well,
do.
it's kind of an interesting book because it talks about change,
Yeah.
and nothing is guaranteed except for change.
That's true.
So if you're able to shift, like they say, shift happens right now,
Yeah.
it definitely does. That's one thing guaranteed
Yeah.
is change. So Who Moved My Cheese is all about change. And my wife even remembers that one because I think I read that. I think I read that when I was doing some multi-level marketing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was called Who Moved My Cheese? And it was all about change. And it's
Yeah.
such a simple book. And the way it was phrased, and it's all about a mouse.
Yeah.
And if you get to the end, I mean, it's a great book.
Yeah.
So Who Moved My Cheese is one of the big ones. Also, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, of course, is a great
Yeah.
book. I actually had that signed by Gary Keller and Mark Willis, and I have a copy of that doesn't go anywhere. That's
That's
signed
awesome.
by, yeah, it's a reminder, and it was before my babies were born, and they put a nice note on to reach for the stars, and it was a really, really cool opportunity that I met them in, I think it was Ontario.
Yeah. Shoot, that's phenomenal. I have the book. I read half of it. Well, I have the audio book and I got it on paper, but I've listened to half of it. I need to finish it for sure.
Yeah,
And
it's
just
a great book, and it really talks about um, connecting with people and having the touches during the
yeah.
year. Making sure you have that 33 touches, I think it is. 8 by
Yeah.
8, was it 8 by 8 and 33 touch, I believe. It's
Well,
been a
since we're
while since I
talking,
read it. I have to go back to it again.
yeah. No worries. Well, yeah, Sam, since we're talking about touches and stuff like that, if you met a brand new real estate agent today and they were asking you what's the best thing to get started to be successful, what would you tell them?
I would tell them first look in their phone.
I like it.
First look in your phone. If you go on your phone and you go to your contacts, and different phones are different ways, but in my phone, if I go to my contacts, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom,
Mhm.
it's going to tell me how many contacts are on my phone.
Yeah.
So first you go on your phone and you say, I used to have 7,000 contacts in my phone.
Oh,
Now I
man.
have 2639 contacts
Yeah.
right now. And some of them are, I've weeded out a lot of them, but I still need to go out and make sure that things have names, phone numbers, and email address.
Yeah.
So go in your contacts in your phone, that's your database.
Makes sense.
And then I downloaded a program, and I don't get anything from this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That helps to get rid of your duplicates. And I actually learned this from another agent. Where is it? It is called, I'll share that with you.
Yeah.
Can't find it right now, but I'll send that to you. It gets rid of duplicates. So actually, if you just look on your web browser and type in, oh, let me see. No, it's not there. Look on your web browser and type in database duplicates.
Yeah.
I think that would bring up programs that help to get rid of your duplicate contacts.
That'd be good, because I know I have a couple, and I'm thinking on my head, like, I don't know what's an old number, new number, or just like it'll have the same name, same number, but one just has a different email address. So that would be good to do, so I don't have all that stuff in there for sure.
And I have a newsletter that I put all my clients into this newsletter, and some will unsubscribe, some will keep it. And I get comments from, say, my title rep saying thank you for the newsletter. And it's just it's a template through my mentorship program. I'm with Mentorship Masters with Nolly.
Yeah.
Nolly Williams is my mentor.
I have his book, but go ahead. Yeah. It's a good guy.
He's awesome. Nolly is awesome. And he'll go out on a limb to help people become successful. And that's one of the reasons I joined his group, because I'm in California. He was in Texas at the time, but I connected with him a long time ago, 2014, I want to say. And I was thinking about coming to EXP, and he had a drip system that would send you emails and videos, and he came to EXP, and I think I came into EXP about the same time he did.
Yeah.
When he first started. So I kind of came over when I saw that he was doing something different. I'm like, you know what? I have to give this EXP a shot. And I've been with EXP for 3 years now, over 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's an eye opener. I've been 2.5 years with EXP, and I've loved it for sure. I really have. All the camaraderie and the collaboration has been amazing.
And how so many people are just open to whatever their playbook is. They're out there sharing it. And the only reason you're not successful if you're not listening and implementing.
Mm-hmm. That's what someone. Okay.
Yeah, because it's implementation. If you have knowledge without implementation, that's might as well not even have that knowledge.
Exactly. And that's to that point, definitely implementing. And that's what someone had mentioned to me about EXP before. They were saying EXP is like an amazing, MacBook, Apple laptop, or whatever, but it won't work if you don't get plugged in. And I believe that, because I get plugged in, because I want to be successful. And I feel like the more I get plugged in and people see me trying to do things, the more willing they are to help out. I don't know what it would be like if I didn't get plugged in, because I'm not going to go down that route, but I could see how it could, not be successful, but I'm not going to go down that route.
Exactly. And, we can use our example. You reached out, you said something about a dad's video. And I said, cool, let's do it.
Exactly.
And it was just simple.
And that's how it is with everybody at EXP. That's why I love it so much, man. So it's phenomenal. Oh yeah. Well, Sam, I won't hold you. I got one last question, and then I'll let you go. But it's about legacy. What legacy are you looking to leave behind or live out? Because I know you're a dad and a husband. So what's the legacy look like?
Well, legacy, one of the things I do first of all, I want to thank you for your service in law enforcement as a Leo.
Thank you. And
I
thank you.
appreciate that. And one of the things about 3 years ago I decided to do is get back to heroes in the community.
Mhm.
So I joined a program called Homes for Heroes, and I did that for about 3 years. And then I joined recently, well, not recently, a while ago, I joined a Hometown Heroes. But the goal was to give a percentage back to heroes in the community because of what they
Yeah.
do. You know, police, fire, nurses, teachers, nonprofits, government agencies. I give them back 20% of my gross
That's awesome.
when they use my real estate services.
Yeah.
So when I originally started doing that, I noticed that my business really went up a lot because people in the community were seeing what I was doing, and people would tell people, and that's what it's all about, giving back and being able to show my daughters, you know, this is what we do. My daughter's in college, and I showed her the other day, $10,000 we gave back to a buyer and a seller.
That is awesome.
And it was like, look, Haley, this is what we do. This is why we go and do it. And it's not just about making a living.
Yeah.
It's making a living, making a difference, because you have to make a difference in your community to be impactful, to leave a legacy.
That's true. I like that. That's really true. Like that's what we do it for. That's what we should do it for. So that's I love that.
And a lot of agents that you notice that especially EXP are all for the legacy and giving back. And I mean, we have so many opportunities in the company to give back through our business, like extend a hand, you know, during the Florida, during those hurricanes, you know, people were losing their homes, and extend a hand was there for them to help. And that's what the whole, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there, but EXP really is, you could see it. You could see the action of people going out there and doing what they need to do to help others.
Exactly. That's true. And then Sam, last question. I love everything you said. If I'm somebody who's interested in EXP, or if I want to sell a house or buy a house with you, what is the best way to get in contact with you?
Well, you can scan that little thing in the corner. You can scan that. Here, you can scan that, and that is my digital business card.
Awesome.
Or you can call me directly, 661-621-5340, or you can follow my hat, samsilver.net, samsilver.net. Or you can Google me, Sam Silver Real Estate. I show up in Google too.
Awesome. Well, Sam, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And man, I look forward to growing our relationship, brother.
Absolutely, my friend.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
talk to
You
you
have a
soon.
good one. See ya.
All right. Take care, Joel.
All right. See you soon.